Welcome to my channel, The Flix Judge, where you will get detailed reviews and honest ratings of global movies and OTT series so that you can watch only the best content worthy of your time. Today we'll review Khauf, a web series released on Amazon Prime. The series stars Monica Panwar and Rajat Kapoor in lead roles. It has 8 episodes, around 40 to 45 minutes each. Hindi original, this is available in Tamil, Telugu, and other major Indian languages dubbed versions. The series is written by Smita Singh and directed by Pankaj Kumar and Surya Balakrishnan. How, meaning fear, as the name indicates, is billed as a horror genre story. The setting is a run-down and eerie-looking working women's hostel, somehow built in the middle of nowhere, but also near some part of Delhi. This is where our main protagonist Madhu, played by Monica Panwar, is staying. Especially the story is about the top floor of one particular wing, the half a dozen rooms and its occupants, including a ghost. Most of the series is shot in low light. Even daylight is toned down with filters to keep the mood and the atmospherics intact. There are very few shots with bright light. The other key setting is a dingy old Delhi koti of the other lead character, Doctor, played by Rajat Kapoor. These are all very well filmed. The lighting, the cinematography, sets, costumes, VFX, and overall the production values are top notch and adds to the quality of the narrative. Great job by this technical team and the directors. The strength and weakness of this series is the story and the characters. First, let us see the good aspects. Many characters, like the doctor, the police constable woman searching for her missing son, the boyfriend of Madhu, are all very well written and very different characters, one which you may not have seen before. And I thoroughly enjoyed these. The heroine Madhu was abused in the past, but even after coming to Delhi, it seems her past has followed her. She has been unable to identify her abusers as they wore masks, and she had never told her parents about the abuse, leave alone lodge a complaint. The track about how she slowly starts suspecting and identifies the culprit and finally confronts him is written in an excellent manner. I especially like the scene in the car alone with the rapist where she finally gets confirmation. And later in another car where she, her boyfriend, the rapist, and his girlfriend are all traveling. There are gems like these in this series which makes it very exciting to watch. Similarly, the character of the female cop who is searching for her missing son, her entire story arc, all the things she does are totally believable for a distressed mother who will do anything for her son, even though she knows him to be a criminal. So is the character of the boyfriend who has to live with the guilt that he couldn't protect Madhu and how it impacts his life and his personality also is written very well and in a very realistic manner. Commendable job from the creator Smita Singh. Of course, the rest of the characters are all rapists and abusers of various shades, so nothing much to write about there. Where it really gets confusing is the character of the doctor as well as the role of the ghost. In fact, the entire horror and supernatural element is messy and poorly written. Not just the characters, but the events, and in fact, the ending is super confusing. Fans of supernatural horror know that there are some rules to be followed. For example, ghosts cannot be there in multiple places. Here we are shown that the ghost is in the body of one character who is far away, and at the same time, it is able to know and control people in the hostel. This just cannot happen. For a feminist movie, the revenge is taken only with the help of the ghost, which itself is of an abusive psycho. In fact, the characters even talk about this. But ultimately, who is this doctor? Why he does what he does is not explained clearly at all. This was totally disappointing for a horror fan like me. I can't talk much about it here as it would become a spoiler, but you will understand it when you watch. Also, there is a bunch of convenient writing and characters, like the abuser of Madhu, who just so happens to be in her circle once she lands in Delhi. How she also conveniently works for a psychiatrist to give some psychobabble take on the supernatural happenings. The female cop is friends with the warden, and her son works for the doctor. This kind of list is endless. The series also has the setting, the mood, and some elements with which it pretends to be a supernatural horror story. But this is an out and out woman oriented feminist movie which has beyond a point totally exhausting amount of messaging. The haunted hostel may look like one, but the story narrated there for most part makes it looks like a battered woman's shelter. Most of the characters in the series are women. All the men, from the main male characters to even those nameless characters who come for just one scene, are either abusers, rapists, or downright psychos out to get these women. Be it the ghost, the doctor, even the guy in the bus, or the one in the underground walkway, not even one has any good qualities. The one quote unquote good male character, the boyfriend of Madhu, is as usual shown to be a weak and useless character. Even the one auto driver, who for a few seconds is shown to be a good guy, is immediately turned into a judgy bad guy who takes offense to one of the women smoking in his auto. I mean, the absolute horror of having some kind of Indian values. This endless parade of abuse of women and excessive Western feminist messaging really takes a toll. The writer and director probably do not believe in the phrase less is more. However, overall, most of the series does work well. The ending, however, especially the climax, in fact, the entire eighth episode is a total mess. You will end up with more questions than answers there. It is very clear that the makers are either very poor in writing horror scripts or have totally messed up in trying to mix the horror and the feminist genres, horror being the casualty here. As far as acting goes, not just the lead characters, but most of the actors have done an excellent job. So, what is the verdict? Half is a good series which deserves a watch. It works very well in parts until it doesn't. This is not a time pass or an entertaining masala series, but it handles a very heavy subject. Certain plot lines are very thrilling, while certain others are a hodgepodge. If you can ignore the force feeding of Western values and excessive feminist messaging, you may enjoy this. This is definitely A rated and not for a family audience. I will give this series a 6 out of 10 stars. See you again with another review. Until then, bye and happy viewing. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I go through hours and hours of content so that you can watch only the very best ones in your precious free time. Thank you.